everybody, my name is Melissa and welcome to my channel. So today we're talking about the books that I recently hauled. I went to Barnes & Noble several times in the past couple months and I picked up a large array of books from fantasy, new adult, romance, young adult, all of the above. And yeah, I went to Barnes & Noble and Half Price Books, and I have a lot of books to get to, so let's go ahead and get started. So the very first book I want to talk about is Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. Back in December, I already owned the first and the third books, and I was waiting until this book went on sale because I was able to get the first two for like $10. And yeah, so I finally found it at Barnes & Noble, $10, picked it up, and I just recently finished the first book. I am a couple pages, literally, that far into the second book, and yeah, I really like this series. It's an epic fantasy series. It currently only has 3 books in it, and I think he's writing the 4th book right now and planning his 5th. So yeah, this is an amazing epic fantasy story. How many times can I keep saying that? Jesus. You're following different perspectives of a thief, of a slave, of a general, and an assassin. So most of the first book is kind of focused on the war and out on these shattered plains where there are these things called high storms that kind of, come in and they're very dangerous. And most likely if you're out during one of those storms, you don't survive. That's where the majority of the first book takes place. I don't know really too much about what the second book is about. I like going into this series not really knowing too much because honestly, how can you sum up a 1,000-page book? So yeah, anyways, it's really good. It's very well done. If you like epic fantasy and you haven't picked up this series, definitely do it. It's really good. Okay, so the next 2 books I actually picked up from Half Price Books, and one of those was Wanderlust by Jen Malone. This is a young adult travel contemporary romance, and it was super cute. I've already read it. I really enjoyed it. Basically, you're following a girl named Aubrey who is pretending to be her sister because her sister convinced her to take her place and travel around Europe being a tour guide to elderly people, and she ends up falling for the owner of the tour guide's son. This book is super cute. It definitely has some very cliche YA tropes, but I really wish I'd been able to read this when I was 14 or 15 because I would have loved it even more. But I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. The next book I picked up was One Day in December by Josie Silver. This was all over BookTube back in December when it came out. This is a contemporary romance that follows a girl and a guy spanning over 10 years, and basically how they just never have the right moment to get together. They ended up seeing each other. She's on a bus, he's at a bus stop, they meet eyes, there's this insta love connection. Her bus drives off before she can get out and introduce herself, and eventually she ends up finding later on that he is dating her best friend. It seems really cute, seems a little bit more emotional than a regular, contemporary romance, but I've heard a lot of hype about this book, especially when it came out, so yeah, I really wanted to pick it up. And plus, book of the month. Why not? The next book that I picked up is actually a YA fantasy book, and that is A Winter's Promise. This is a translated work from, I believe, French, and I really don't know too much about it. I think people live on these spires and it's a little bit different from your normal YA fantasy. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know too much about this book. I do know that Reagan from her BookTube channel, she really enjoyed this book and she recently just finished the second one. So I was like, you know what, she enjoyed it. I feel like we have similar taste in fantasy books. So I ended up picking this book up and I can't wait to read it. So to switch up genres a little bit, I ended up picking up The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I already read this. I read it for the summerathon last month and I really enjoyed it. I felt like some things were lacking in the story, but either way. So this book is a hate to love office romance, romantic comedy type book. I did really enjoy it. Like I said, I felt like things were lacking, especially a connection to Lucy, the main character. I really liked Josh, the hero of the story. I felt he was a lot more well-rounded than Lucy was. Those are pretty much my only main gripes, was our main character just wasn't very well-rounded. I definitely understand the hype surrounding it, but it just wasn't quite a 5-star for me, but I really did enjoy it. It's a cute hate to love book. So I have 2 more romance books that I picked up, and the next one is Waiting for Tom Hanks by Carrie Winfrey. I wanted to read this one again for the summerathon readathon, but I only got 63 pages into it. So the main character's personality just really got on my nerves. She believes that her life is a romantic comedy. She's gonna have her meet cute, and she wants to be a screenplay writer, I believe, but is not willing to move out to California or anywhere that actually is involved with this business. So she stays in, I think it's like Columbus, Ohio, and she's expecting to live at home with her uncle, and you know, things are gonna come to her. So I really did not enjoy that fact, and just kind of like expecting everything to fall into place and not really reach out to meet her goals. She's like 27 or something like that, and yeah, that's just not the way life works. I understand how this would be a really cute movie, I suppose, but yeah, just I wasn't really enjoying it. I set it down. I still want to give it another try, but yeah, wasn't my favorite so far. The very next book I picked up was Beautiful Bastard by Christina Lauren. This is the very first book that they published. It actually was like, I don't know if it was on Wattpad or something like that, but I think it started off as like Twilight fan fiction. Either way, another office romance. It's definitely an older series, but I thought I would give it a go. I saw it at Barnes & Noble and I was like, you know what? I keep seeing this book, so I might as well give it a go and try it out. And I really like Christina Lauren's The Honeymooners, and I wanted to pick up a little bit more from the authors and kind of see what else they had to offer. So I have two more books to talk about, and the next one is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I really like the idea of this story. I kind of actually got it confused for a while with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. There's just 7 Evelyn, lots of words. So the premise of this story sounds really interesting. Evelyn Hardcastle ends up dying over and over again, and our main character, I believe Aiden is main character, he ends up reliving it as well, but in the bodies of different characters. So I think he has to figure out the murder and what's going on and why this is happening. So it sounded really intriguing. I'm very excited to pick this up, and I think the cover of this book is gorgeous. So of course my very last book has to go to Brandon Sanderson, and that is Elantras. So I really didn't want this cover, but it was on sale, so I was like, you know, why not? So this is his first published work that I know of. I think I read somewhere where Mistborn was actually the first book he wrote, but he ended up publishing this one first. So I know this isn't a lot of people's favorites. It's a standalone, and I believe it's like you see Brandon Sanderson's writing, but it's not quite to where he has it today. Obviously, it's his first book, or first published book. So I'm really excited to give this a try. I don't really know too much about it, but yeah, I'm willing to read anything by Brandon Sanderson, so I ended up picking this book up. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching my book haul. I have such a large array of different books and genres, and I'm so excited to get to these, especially the epic fantasy that is Words of Radiance. And I've already read a couple of these books, and I do know that I'm planning on reading some of these books to come, so look forward to a couple of TBR videos that I have planned out. But if you've read any of these books or have any thoughts or opinions on them, I would love to hear about them in the comments down below. I hope you have a great day and happy reading. Bye!